What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Welcome back to the channel. Sore today, dude.
Dude, I'm kind of hurting too, not gonna lie.
I'm glad we're riding there to warm up because I need to like shake out yesterday for my legs. I'm building up my excuses right now, you know?
What's going on today?
Alviso, baby, Alviso. Are we gonna be, here's the question, are we gonna be teammates or are we gonna be competition?
I think we should be competition.
Competition? Good, because I don't know if I have that same jersey color that you're wearing. So we're gonna be competition today, and now you're my sworn enemy. See what we got?
What?
We have the answer. Wait,
What is this? Ketone, is it
This is
like...
dope. This is dope. Don't look at it. It's for me.
Is it like caffeine?
No, they sent this over. No, it's not caffeine. Ketones. But it's like, here's the pitch they told me. It's not caffeine. It's not carbs, but it makes you faster. And the military uses it, and like pro tour teams use it. I need every advantage I can get today, so I'm gonna chug
So
4
you're
of
gonna
them.
use it?
That's not for you, bro.
Wait, this isn't fair.
You gotta do it like a shot, you know? You can't mess around. Let me
Okay.
shake it, because I don't know if there's any solids in there. I need a chaser. Where's my bottle?
Down the hatch.
Ooh. Yeah, your turn. Give me that.
God.
Give me that. Bottoms up. You. How's that taste?
Oh,
It's not the
dude.
best, right?
Oh, it tastes... God. All right, man. Let's get it. Alviso time. Oh, that aftertaste is gnarly. What a good day to have a great day.
Is it a great day to have a good day
It's
today?
a great day to have a good day today.
All right, guys, this is it. The Master versus the Protégé, Jedi versus Apprentice, Crit Dad versus Crit Son, the battle you've all been waiting for. Dun, dun, dun. Alviso World Championships. I am pumped, dude. I'm super pumped. How about you, EJ?
Dude, what a good day, man. This was such a freaking fun race.
Yeah, coming off a hot breakaway in the last time we did this. EJ, your motivation must be pretty high.
Oh, dude, I just want to stomp you.
I know you did. I know you did. I was not going to let that happen, so let's dive into some race footage. And to kick things off, here is a Tehran rider gracing us with his presence. This is Brian kicking off a second lap attack. And look, I'm okay with a single rider.
Okay.
Brian's strong, but with 23 kilometers to go. EJ, on the other hand.
Well, yeah, this guy rolled in front of me, and like I wasn't gonna follow the single rider on Tehran, but should I have followed the guy that's in front of me now, or should I?
Yeah,
just...
I think.
Okay.
No, I think so. You went up like over 1,000 for a brief second.
I think so. Yeah.
I think if you can get in the draft in this headwind section, it's a good idea. You know, it's a risk reward thing, because if you do a big spike in energy, get in his draft, and then he stops pulling, it's like, man, that was worthless.
Yeah.
But if he's gonna pull you like he did and bring back Brian in the headwind section, I think that's fine. Go for it. I had a different approach. I sat back and chilled, and you can see the difference in heart rate. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about heart rates in this race. Even though, EJ's heart rate tends to run a little bit higher, I think it's a pretty good indication of the difference in the level of effort. And I was down in the low 140s. EJ was around 170. And Tehran goes again, by the way. And now you're stuck on the front, and this is the benefit of falling back. I had a slingshot attack on the right-hand side, the sheltered side, came past the front riders with some speed, and I'm able to open a gap without having to spike up to, how many watts was that, EJ, that I saw a second ago?
A new PR for me, 1600, 1610, something like that. I was just, full transparency, I was just antsy to follow your wheel, to be honest. I was like, oh, I can't let him, I just wasn't patient. I think that's something I need to learn, which is something you're really good at, so it's awesome to learn from you.
Yeah, we've seen this in the previous races EJ's been in. It's he has this ability to spike up a bunch of power, and I think you do that more often than you should, and it feels like you can just have this endless supply of 1,300 watt attacks. But even a strong rider like yourself, tons of natural ability.
Thank you.
Tons of fitness going on right now, EJ. There is a limit to the number of times you can spike up like that.
Definitely.
And I've learned that I can't I can't continue to do those big efforts. I'm a bit older now. I'm the crit dad apparently.
It's trending now. It's your new name.
Oh God. It sounds a bit weird, but I can't. I guess the bottom line is I can't. I know my limits, and I know I can't just keep doing that. So that was just a good example of me sitting back. And now we're looking at the heart rates again, 174, 145, and part of that has to do with my sitting back and chilling and like not being so panicky and just kind of letting the race unfold a little bit.
Yeah, and it's still early in this race. As you can see, I'm going again, another 1,000 watts. I'm trying to shadow Matt. If you guys remember from the last LV, so he and I got in a breakaway, so I just kind of holding his wheel here. Was it a smart move to just like stay in his draft, or should I have fallen back at this point?
No, Matt's one of those riders, and this is a big skill in bike racing, identifying your competition. And like obviously, you know Matt's strong. Now you've raced with him. We know that he's getting results. We know what he's capable of. I think it was a good idea to follow him. If it was somebody who isn't so good at breakaways, maybe not. If it was somebody who has a bunch of teammates, maybe yes. There's always this balance, you're thinking about whether or not it makes sense to follow. But I think in this situation, Matt's definitely the kind of rider that you want to follow. And it works out for you, EJ. I mean, you forced this selection off the front of some of the strongest riders in the race. And this is a moment where like, I've fallen back and I'm chilling, but you always have to be mindful of what's going on. And you have to figure out like when to use the energy and when not to use it. And I see those guys up the road. I have the sheltered side. This is the same spot I went on the last lap, right? This is a good spot to go. Very similar move. I do a slingshot move past these front riders. And the reason I'm committing this energy is I'm kind of seeing what's going on. The chase wasn't super motivated. I see my apprentice up the road. I can't let that happen. I can't let you just ride away from me, EJ. No, in all seriousness, you're obviously a major threat in this race. So is Matt.
Thank you.
So are these other riders up in this move. And I realized that if I let this thing open up to, 15, 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 30 seconds, like all of a sudden the race just could be over. So I tried to nip this in the bud, and I just make sure I get across. And I did so without dragging the whole field with me. And that's the reason why I did that slingshot attack on the sheltered side of the road. That's because I don't want to just tow the whole group with me. And I also don't want to snap up to like 1,500 watts because I only have one or two of those throughout a race. And by the time I make it up to you guys, what happens? Timmy goes on the left. I'm okay with this. Tim is a strong sprinter. I like seeing that he's using energy that he will otherwise be using in the sprint. He's using on this solo breakaway. We're a long ways to go, you guys. And EJ and I are now just kind of chilling. And we're fine with the single rider, right? I wasn't terribly threatened. I see, EJ, for once, you didn't chase something back.
For once, I didn't chase it back. And I think for once, I'm doing the right thing, which I'm pretty happy about,
But then Red Peloton goes, and now all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't want those two guys to get together, right?
Yeah.
Red Peloton rider's a strong breakaway rider. We're going to see more of him throughout this race. I don't want to see both of those guys get together. Still not enough motivation for me to do anything about it, EJ?
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. I was thinking in my head, if one more guy goes, I'll follow Wheel. What do you think about that?
It depends. Again, it depends on who it is.
Okay.
But 3 is a good number for a breakaway at Alviso. And look who's stepping on it right here. And look who's really stepping on it right here. 1,500 watts almost. That's a big commitment and energy. And look, I'm doing the same thing, but here's the difference: is my effort was a bit more gradual. It wasn't so surgy. Consistency is efficiency. Talk a lot about that principle on this channel, and it's a good way to save energy. So you spiked it up. You have that ability. How many of those do you have in the tank, though, EJ? I must know. You're at 183 beats per minute. I'm at 156.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a big difference, and as you say, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and it proves right here. My heart rate gets a little higher than yours, but you can definitely tell that I'm more fatigued than you are at this moment.
And I make the bridge across to the front. Everyone's here with us, though, and Matt on the front. Matt's so strong, dude.
I remember this moment. I was like, why is this hurting so damn bad? I was like, I feel like I'm in the draft, but I'm also not. Like, I'm doing 300, 400 watts, and it's just because he's strong. I mean, how do you feel about this move from him, though, off the front, kind of putting in a dig?
I like that he recognizes it's all single file, and he wants to get in a breakaway. He's a breakaway rider. He wins races from breakaways.
Yeah.
So I understand that's his motivation in this race, but I think he could have executed that a little bit better and do what I've been doing, which is that slingshot attack from a few riders back, carry speed past the front. When you just stand up, especially in that headwind section, if you just stand up and just do Hulk power on the front, it's cool. It makes it hard for everybody, but you're mostly making it hard for yourself because everyone else was able to sit in the draft. You saw EJ was in the draft, very clean set of wheels there. EJ, good idea on just like chilling, sitting in,
Thank you.
letting the riders in front of you. I always say, look, if somebody's riding hard in front of you and you're in the draft, like that's a fantastic, even if it might hurt a little bit, they're doing more work than you. So that's always a fantastic situation. And although Matt's breakaway attempt didn't really snap the elastic, you saw some individual riders get away. And what this really did was just set up kind of the middle part of this race where things became really, really difficult, really unstable. You see the field starting to fall apart. There's gaps opening up in front of us, behind us. And this is such a critical moment in each race. Not just Alvisos, sanctioned races, everything. You have to be so mindful of what's going on. And we were just talking about, hey, look, as long as there's a rider in front of you riding hard, like
You're okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. This rider in front of me who just took a way better corner than I did, by the way. I'm looking back now. You see from EJ's camera. I'm very mindful of what's going on. Are there gaps behind me? Who's behind me? Who's in front of me? Who's chasing? And you're doing all of this math while you're trying to ride at close to threshold, 30 miles an hour. This is the difficulty of bike racing, you guys.
Yeah.
But I kind of realized what's going on. I see EJ's behind me. EJ was just checking back too.
Yeah,
Pro move, dude.
And like I realized we had to split here, but also you kind of saved me in this situation. I want to touch on that real quick. That's something I'm still definitely working on that I don't quite have figured out. I just followed your wheel when it was chaotic because I wasn't really recognizing what exactly was going on. So obviously it was the right move to follow your wheel, but it's something that I think I need to work on over time, is just having that recognition while the race is going on.
Yeah, and there's no shame in that. Like I do that all the time too. You know, if you're following a rider who is like on one of the other big teams, let's say, or not that I'm considering myself a favorite Alviso, but if you're following like the race favorite in a sanctioned race, they're usually making the right decisions. And I know all these riders. You don't know these riders as well as I do, so I think it's a fine enough move to follow me when there's a little bit of doubt, when there's chaos. I think that's smart. And we do find ourselves in this group. And you know, for a successful breakaway, by the way, 2 riders still off the front. For a successful breakaway to stay clear, you have to just immediately commit to it and start rotating. That's why I'm taking a pull on the front. Put my pull in here, rotate off. EJ's doing the same thing. This is looking really promising. It has all those riders we talked about. We're about to bridge up with 2 more. Let's see how it unfolds. And I swear, dude, that group looks so promising. But I think it was maybe just a little bit too big. So we end up getting caught from behind. I really thought that was the one. And Brian from Tehran on it again. This is looking good.
Yeah.
EJ.
This is another one that's hard to. Hindsight's 2020. I'm gonna say that a million times as always, but I shouldn't have followed this, right? Like I don't have a slingshot. Or what do you think?
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky because you're stuck on the front. I wouldn't have spiked up to 1,300 watts for the same reason we just talked about Matt doing the same thing in the same position and how it was a bad idea. For the same reason, that's not a good idea. If I were you and I was stuck on the front when a counter goes, which is from a threatening rider like Brian, who can go solo from this distance, just take a pull. You had 5 other motivated riders behind you who all would have rotated. I would have taken a pull, and I think the 5 of us all could have just like done an easy turn on the front, relatively easy turn on the front, and it's a 5 versus 1 situation. Like, I don't think you needed to spike it up to 1,200 watts because now again it's 177 beats per minute versus 150. That's the consequence of that, and like. I know I've already said this a couple of times, but how many times can you do this, EJ? You want to save those. And the more you cat up, the higher you get in the categories, you're going to be faced with more riders who are better at conserving their energy, and you're not going to be able, and you're going to have to face stronger riders in the sprint, so you're not going to be able to just overwhelm your competition with power. You're going to have to be very selective, and we're working on that, starting with videos like this. Okay, so now we're coming to the end of this race. We're about 3 laps to go. Unfortunately, EJ's power meter ran out of batteries. We have no more data. But we're chilling here. We're waiting. And, hey, breakaway rider, there's no such thing as chilling. We're going to see here in just a second. Big Matt is going to step on it once again in the tailwind section. Very threatening. And EJ just snaps the power. Look how quickly you get away, dude. I was doing 700, and you just, like, teleported away from me. So we know that you did, like, another 1,300 or 1,400 watts right there. I did the opposite. I was chilling, and I kind of just let those riders shuffle in front of me. And of course, I'm mindful of what's going on and like who's up there, but I just want to make sure that I'm not spiking up because I want to save those efforts for later on. But yet again, this is not the right selection. We get brought back. And yet again, Brian from Tehran with another searing, decisive counterattack. He's so good at timing those, right?
He is. And like I just had no energy on the front. I mean, I just kind of like, could I have followed it in hindsight? Maybe, but it just wasn't worth it. I in my head, I wanted to fall back here. That was a good
Patience,
idea?
EJ.
Yeah, I'm learning.
You're learning. I mean, every other instance we've seen, you've jumped across, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
a little
yeah.
puppy. Just jumped across. Let's go play. And you've used all your energy. But here's the important thing is I fell back, and now we can see the big boys are now seeing the threat, and they're jumping across. We have Project 74. We have Red Peloton. We have Donald, former winner of this race. And, of course, we have EJ jumping on the coattails. And I'm now thinking, as I've dropped back here, this is not looking very good. I see there's some sluggishness on the part of these riders to close down gaps. And there's a strong contingency now of like 5 riders off the front, which EJ now has missed too.
Yeah.
Right, EJ?
Yeah, I'm not there. I'm just sitting in Timmy's draft, like just trying to latch on, and hopefully they'll pull me back.
But we have 3 riders who are in hot pursuit of 2 riders, and if they get together, yikes, with 2 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go, that's probably the end of the race. So I'm looking for an opportunity. Like, is anybody going to chase? Doesn't look like it. I'm doing 150 watts. We're not going particularly fast. Yeah. And I think this is a moment when I jump across, I think. Am I remembering? Yeah, here we go. And that's that slingshot that we were talking about. So now I commit some energy, right? But I'm just an old Masters rider. Like, I can't do this over and over again like EJ. I have to be very selective. I have to save these efforts. And when I commit to them, I really have to commit to them. So I definitely snap some good power right there.
Yeah.
And what do? I immediately flick my elbow, and I try to get some motivation from these other riders. EJ's jumped on because he is Matt's shadow, and I immediately fall into rotation. Super important in order to close this down is to get cohesion. But yet again, that is not the right move. It's brought back together. And this is the moment where you're going to see me do something kind of tricky. I'm going 18 miles an hour, EJ.
Yeah.
We're like a lap and a half to go. We're approaching the end of this race. And it appears to me as though we're going to sit in and we're going to wait for a field sprint. So I drop back. And the moment I do, Matt, what a jerk. Matt steps on it. And this is a big problem for me for a few reasons. One, Matt attacking off the front and me not in a position to respond is a big issue. And now that I've dropped back, I can't really respond, right? I just dropped back. I can't really sprint back up to the front and jump on. EJ, you have done the right thing. This is the power of position in this sport. EJ didn't drop back, and EJ now is in Matt's draft, riding away for glory, and I am stuck back here like, chase, guys, please chase. That's all I'm thinking right now, and I cannot let this gap open up too much because we're approaching 1 to go. Yeah. Race is going to be over in just a couple of minutes, and here's the thought process going on right now is I'm thinking again about the motivation of these riders. As long as we're going fast, which, by the way, we're going 30 miles an hour. We're not going slow. As long as we're going fast and we're keeping the gap up to the lead riders, including EJ, Matt, some of the other really strong sprinters, I'm fine sitting in. The second there's any hesitation, any indecision, anything like that, I cannot hesitate. That's how races are lost, you guys. I see this happen all the time. It's happened to me 100 times. That's how you learn to prevent it, is when you continuously lose by trying to sit in and wait and save. And I get it. If you're a sprinter, you're probably thinking, I just need to sit in and wait and save my energy. But look, if you're not there in the final 200 meters in the right position, it doesn't matter if you're Mark Cavendish. You can make a 2,000-watt sprint. If you're not in the right position, you're never going to win. And right now, I am not in the right position, so I have to get up there, even if that means I'm killing myself in order to do so. So I see the gap opening up. We're still going 27 miles an hour. The motivation is starting to come out of these riders, though, and I see this rider launch. I'm going to pause it right here.
Yeah.
Because this is such a critical moment. This is 2,187 meters to go. We are closing in at the very end of this race. And when I see riders fan across the road like this, pop quiz, EJ. Does this mean we're going fast or slow?
Slow.
That means we're going slow. Nobody's pedaling. Everyone's sitting up. And then when they fan out across the road, when it's not single file, we're going slow. What did I say about indecision and how it can cost you a race? Well, I am not going to waste any time. That is when I have to jump across, and I spike it up because I don't want to bring any of those riders with me. That was a classic slingshot attack, the NorCal special. And now you can see the riders up there. It was about the same gap as when they got away, when I was stuck behind the main peloton, but I have to get across. EJ's up there chilling as much as one can chill at the end of a race, but I am out in EJ land, as we've established.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a ninja here and just be silently in Red Peloton's draft, but he looks back. He notices right away. He flicks me through. No rest for me. This is a big effort, EJ. I'm not going to lie. This is this was a dark moment for me in this race.
Dude,
I was like,
for once you were hurting and I was chilling. Like
Yeah.
somehow it all aligned and it worked out. I was just sitting in the back. I wasn't doing any pulls. I was okay with this.
and I'm doing 800 watts into this crosswind. But the good news is I'm not dragging anybody with me. The bad news is now we're 1,500 meters to go. Strongest riders are all in front of me. For the most part, been chilling. Like EJ has been doing a lot of work up till this moment, but when it matters most, EJ chilling, sitting in, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And now, again, I want to be a ninja. I want to be quiet. Shh, EJ.
Dude,
I'm
I
not
didn't
on your
even know
wheel.
you were here.
Yes,
at this
perfect.
Moment. Oh my gosh, dude. I really wish I knew.
I
Hindsight's
even let
20/20,
Donald
but-
sneak in right here because I just want to be so quiet back here. Like I don't exist. Just let me sit back here quietly, recovering in the draft because I'm 170 beats per minute. Which is, if you had heart rate data, yours probably would be lower than mine for the first time in this race, again, when it matters the most.
Yeah.
And this is an important time where I really need to recover. If I want anything left in my sprint, I have to recover in this moment. And that's why I'm sitting at the back. Dude, Red Peloton, shout out in the rear camera. He looks a little tired, though, doesn't he?
Oh, dude, he was just grinding it out, man. But this guy's a beast. But, like, right here, I didn't even realize you were here. I looked over my left shoulder. I didn't even look over my right, so I didn't see you. I still didn't see you at this moment.
We slow down a bit, and I get lucky. You see, I'm doing 0 watts, 165 beats per minute. This is the final selection. Red Peloton sends it on the left. You can hear me yelling up, 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 or left, 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 something like that.
Yep.
And EJ falls for the bait. I love that move. Look, I tell people it works about 50% of the time. And this is such a critical moment because EJ is now getting essentially a lead out from his North Bay buddy, and
Yeah.
I'm getting a lead out from Matt. Neither of them are like wanting to do this, but this is just the nature of
Dude,
bike
it's
racing.
coming down to it.
This
you
is
know?
it. So let's pause it just for a second, and let's just tease it. Okay, so I want to break this moment down. I won't take too much time. I hate leaving you guys on a cliffhanger, but I want to explain the situation because EJ's gotten a lead out from the Red Peloton rider. You can see him in position number 2. I have gotten a lead out from Matt. I am carrying a little bit more speed. You can see right here 2 more miles an hour, but EJ's getting a head start in the sprint. He is 2 bike lengths ahead of me. I want you guys to guess who's going to win this one, but let's actually see how this sprint unfolds. I am going to sit in the draft as long as humanly possible. EJ just got so panicky, and you started your sprint with like 300 meters to go. This is so early for a sprint, dude. So I was patient. I finally come out in the win, and I got to be honest with you, dude. There was a moment here where 1,200 watts wasn't doing anything, but you had such a long sprint.
Oh.
I don't know if it was the ketones rushing through my bloodstream or if it was my pride, but I could not let the apprentice beat the crit master.
Dude, I was so freaking close, man. I remember I was a little bit pissed, but we'll get you. I'm coming back.
Dude,
Don't
if you
worry.
just would have waited a little bit longer, I'd have been so hosed because you have a massive sprint. I got to be really clever if I want to beat you at the next LV. So be sure to subscribe, you guys, because I think this might be the last time I beat EJ at LV. So I cannot believe I would ever say that this quickly. But I was so impressed with the way you rode today, EJ.
Dude,
and of course,
thank
we have
you.
more races coming up. So yeah, hit that bell icon, hit the thumbs up. We absolutely love making these. EJ, catch you in the next one, buddy.
Later, dude. Thank you so much. This was awesome. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for the support. Peace.